Hate ads? Subscribe to Acast Plus now to skip ads and more. Click the link in our show notes to learn how.
Looking to get into the Halloween spirit? Acast recommends the most chilling podcasts. Tune in and beware.
It's been nearly 5 years since Dr. Rouge disappeared.
One family!
She'd promised to make the world rich with her revolutionary cryptocurrency, OneCoin.
You're amazing, guys.
But OneCoin was a lie. Join me, Jamie Bartlett, as we scour the globe looking for Rouge's missing millions.
I think you need to start looking at the very, very, very top of that country.
The missing crypto queen is back.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.
Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys?
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what today is?
I do.
It's Sacrilegious Book Club.
I was waiting to see if you got that one right.
Yeah, I did.
Or called it Book Club Sacrilegious.
Or Sacrilegious Club Book.
Or Club Discourse Sacrilegious.
What?
So, I don't know.
Nothing.
Yeah.
That's too many.
Too many?
You went too far, sir.
Never too far.
So, today we are covering, we're finishing up, I should say, the book of Joshua in Asimov's Guide to the Bible.
Right. I
And
always want to say galaxy when you say that.
Asimov's
always.
Guide to the Galaxy?
Always.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the
I know,
Galaxy.
but like I hear guide to, and I'm like galaxy.
Fair.
Yeah.
I definitely am a hoopy food, and I sass where my towel is at.
You either get it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
So we should mention a couple of things here today.
Okay.
The first is that Isaac Asimov is not the greatest person on the planet.
He
and
is a sexist schmuck.
Right. And we're every time we do a book club, we're going to say that because it's true.
It is true.
So it is what it is. And we found it out after we started reading the book. So we're not going to not read it. We're just going to disclaim it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are going to take a break from it. But we'll get into that in a bit.
Oh, we're not going to get into that right now?
No, we'll get into that at the end. So that,
Oh, okay.
Because I'm going to introduce the other book that we're going to read.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. We'll get into that at the end then.
Yeah.
So are we done with the intro then?
This is the end of the intro.
This is the end of the intro?
Yep.
Okay. Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are. And our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there. So it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap.
Oh.
But, we can definitely use any amount. So, like, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah.
Hey, small business leaders. Are you doing it all at your company? JustWorks can relieve you of some of the administrative work you don't love. Things like running payroll, managing benefits, and figuring out state-by-state regulations. Whether your team is remote or in person, you can give them access to large group health insurance plans and manage onboarding, payroll, and PTO, all in one place. Learn more at justworks.com.
Okay, so we're finishing up the book of Joshua in Asimov's Guide to the Bible. And the book of Joshua started on page 208. But today we're covering pages 217 to 225, beginning with Miram.
Sounds great.
On page 217.
Okay, Miram.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a place, by the way.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So last time we read about how the southern kingdoms formed a confederacy and marched against Gibeon. Do you remember that? And Joshua made the sun stand still?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was the southern kingdoms. This time we're reading about the cities of northern Canaan forming a league.
Okay.
Okay, a league of their own. Okay, so the kings met at Miram.
Okay.
Which is likely the northernmost enclosed body of water through which the Jordan River flows, now known as Lake Hula.
Okay.
And so it's one of three. The other two were the Dead Sea and the Sea of Galilee.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's it for that section.
Okay.
So
they met there. Yeah.
Yep. That's where they met.
Okay.
And it's a place that is.
And there's water there.
Yep. It's water.
Some water.
So the next section is Zidon, and we're still on page 217. That's how small that section was.
Oh wow.
Okay. Joshua 1. Boom. Okay. And then he chased those guys all the way to Sidon, a city on the Mediterranean shore.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Except that, no, he probably didn't because that's too far away.
Okay.
And anyways, those people never got hammered by the Israelites. So clearly an exageration.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did not chase them all the way to the Med.
Right. They won and that was it.
They won.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Glass manufacturing, Sidon's most important enterprise in the Phoenician era, was conducted on a vast scale. And the production of purple dye was almost as important.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we talked last time about how the Phoenicians were like known for purple or something.
Okay. I don't recall that,
not.
but okay.
Okay.
Maybe we did. I don't know.
I read a lot, so like it could just be something that I read,
right?
And that I'm confusing.
But they're known for purple.
They're so known for purple.
Okay.
Okay. And this is what Asimov says. The people of the region were famous for their manufacture of a purple-red dye and made use of it in their own clothing to such an extent that the color gave a name to the people and the land.
Oh, wow.
The Greek name Phoenicia is from their word meaning purple-red.
Huh.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Yeah.
And, of course, the Phoenicians were the guys that invented the alphabet.
Phonetical.
Yeah.
Right.
The phonetic alphabet.
Yeah.
They did that around the time of Joshua.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right? And here's the thing, like a lot of different places on the continent, not the continent, the globe, the world, the planet, okay? Yeah. A lot of different places invented writing around the same time. Okay? Just recording stories and stuff. But the alphabet, the Phoenicians were the first to take sound symbols. So instead of like having a picture represent a word, they had a symbol represent a sound, which is where we get the word phonetics.
Okay.
And that means
that makes
hooked
sense.
on phonics.
So it wasn't that there wasn't written languages before this. It was just that there wasn't symbols that represented sounds type language.
So that you would know how to pronounce it later.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's actually very interesting.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did that, like I said, around the time of Joshua. Okay?
Okay.
So there's a lot of different ways to say this name. Zidon, Sidon, Saida. Okay? And it's the third largest city in Lebanon.
Okay.
Sorry. And it is located on the Mediterranean coast.
Okay.
And the Phoenician name for it probably meant fishery or fishing town.
That makes sense.
Right?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. And then I was looking it up to see if it's a place that still existed because as of Asimov's time, it did.
Right.
And he mentioned that it's where a pipeline ended.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. But I was like, can that possibly still be true?
Right.
So this I took from Wikipedia. Okay. After years of constant arguing between Saudi Arabia and Syria and Lebanon over transit fees, the emergence of oil supertankers and pipeline breakdowns, the section of the line beyond Jordan ceased operation in 1976. So that would have been after the time that Asimov wrote what he wrote about it.
Yeah.
The remainder of the line between Saudi Arabia and Jordan continued to transport modest amounts of petroleum until 1990.
Okay.
When the Saudis cut off the pipeline in response to Jordan's support of Iraq during the first Gulf War.
Okay.
Today, the entire line is unfit for oil transport.
Gotcha.
So it's just a place that basically was kind of important for a little bit, but then eventually just declined.
But the city's still there.
It's still there. It's just not
its main source of whatever is gone.
Yeah, so it's run down and emptying out now.
Okay.
It's going into ghost town mode because they're kind of like here when the GE plant closed.
Right. It wasn't GE.
It wasn't GE?
GM.
GM, that's what I meant to say. You know how I get my letters mixed up? Yeah, GM. Yeah. The GM plant closed, and for a while it was like Dayton was going to fall off the map, but then they did a big reconstruction downtown, and they're trying to turn it around and pull it out.
Yeah.
So, that thing.
Right.
Okay, so, that's that section. The next section is the Philistines on page 219.
Damn Philistines.
Bourgeoisie. So, this is what Asimov has to say.
Okay.
Even under the idealized picture of the conquest as presented in the book of Joshua, there was no denying that sections of Canaan remain unconquered.
Obviously.
No shit, right?
Yeah.
And so from there on, Asimov goes into great detail, boring, okay, about the 5 cities of Philistia, the region that was once known as Canaan and now known as Palestine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where we're at. Okay, and he talks about these 5 cities: Ekron, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Gaza.
It's funny because and this is touching on modern day Israel, but there's still those separate sections of Israel that are still under their Islamic, and they're ruled by Islamic groups,
Yeah.
And so it's a sore point of
it's a point
of
contention for the peoples that live there.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because you could almost say that it never fully happened.
Right. Exactly.
So.
Exactly. So, those 5 cities. Ready?
Yeah.
Ekron is now a village named Akir, so it still exists.
Okay.
Okay. Ashdod was the most powerful in its prime, and it is now the village of Esdod.
Okay.
Okay. Ashkelon was a seaport, and it is now a desolate site. So it's about done.
Got it.
Gath, famous for being the home of the city of Goliath.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thoroughly vanished, and its exact site is uncertain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's done and gone.
Got it.
And then, of course, Gaza survived the best, and we all know Gaza. The Gaza Strip.
Right. Well, that's not a city; that's an area. But
but the city of Gaza is in the Gaza Strip.
Got it.
And it still exists.
Right.
So, so that's that section. Next comes the tribes on page 222. Okay. So, he had a thing to say, and I'm just going to repeat what he said.
Okay. Yeah.
Despite the admitted incompleteness of the conquest, the book of Joshua goes on to describe the allotment of land in Canaan to each of the tribes according to the instructions Joshua is recorded as having received from God.
Yeah.
Almost all the rest of the book of Joshua is given over to a painstaking account of the division of the land.
And we discussed later, because we came across where, hey, they didn't exactly conquer all these people. We're like, wait, but they...
Exactly.
What? What's going on?
That's why I love that Asimov keeps pointing this out.
Right.
He's like...
Because it's you guys didn't actually have that land.
Yeah, exactly. So he goes on to say, it makes for very dull reading, but it takes the place of a map in modern books.
Sure.
Which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
So shout out to East Side Gang. Okay. Which was Reuben, Gad, and the half tribe of Manasseh.
Right.
And they were covered the land east of the Jordan.
Right.
Okay. They received that land.
Yep.
Okay. And then Asimov breaks down which tribe lived where on the west side of the Jordan.
Okay.
That's why I just wanted to give a quick shout out to East Side Gang.
Sure.
Okay. So Asimov says all these tribal boundaries were idealized versions referred back in time from the situation as it existed in the period of the monarchy.
Okay.
They could not have existed in the form given at the time of the conquest.
Ah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he like went through each of them, and I started to like take notes on each of them, and then I was like, I deleted.
Don't really care.
Yeah,
that much.
I deleted it all because do you really care which parts, which tribe was the southernmost, which one was on the coast, which one was northernmost? Like that's all it was, and I just don't care.
Right.
So
I gotcha.
Apologies if you do care, but I don't.
It's in the book.
It's in the book. Yeah, you read it.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he goes on to say that, and I really was glad of this because we've asked about this, the tribe of Levi.
Yeah.
And like, did they have land or didn't they? I don't understand, right? He actually addresses this.
Okay.
The tribe of Levi received no actual land grant. Its central role was that of serving as a priesthood, and for that purpose, it was considered enough that its members be granted a number of towns scattered throughout the various tribal areas.
And that was kind of my thought as to what had happened.
Right. It was really confusing that they didn't have land, but they were still
I don't think they spelled it out at first. Like when they were divvying up the land, they're just like, and then the Levites will live amongst them, right?
Yeah.
And then, but maybe they did, but I might have missed it or something. But then later on, they did. I did hear at some point in our reading of the Bible that they were getting cities and they would have the pasture land outside of them or whatever.
Yeah, but it was confusing because they weren't given land, but they had towns, and I'm like, the towns are on the land.
It's still fucking land, yeah.
Yeah, so they just weren't given free range land.
Right,
They were given towns.
Right.
But
like that's still fucking land.
It is, yeah. So okay, that's that section. And finally, we finish off with Mount Ephraim on page 224.
Okay.
Joshua dies at the end of the book of Joshua.
Yep.
Along with Eleazar, who was the son of Aaron and the nephew of Moses.
Got it.
Okay, so they die.
Okay.
And then Asimov says, with the end of the book of Joshua, we can consider Canaan as essentially Israelite territory, even if not completely so.
Gotcha.
So he's like, they say that they have it, and we will just pretend, even though we all know better.
Right.
That is what
we'll give them a benefit of the doubt. Whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So that concludes the book of Joshua. Okay.
Yep.
What we had said during our last book club was that for multiple reasons, one of which is that Asimov was a lech, and we just really wanted to give some space to, think about that and the whole separating the artist from the art and don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. And we still respect and admire the work that he did, but we don't want to celebrate him. We're just going to step back from him for a minute. And it was convenient to do so right at this moment.
Because we're catching up.
We're catching up to where we are in our daily reading of the Bible.
Yeah.
Too quickly.
Definitely.
And so it just made sense to take a break. And we had talked about wanting to read some Jewish fairy tales and legends and myths and stuff.
Right.
So toward that end, I ordered a couple of different books. And after looking them over, the one that I decided we're going to do is, it's called A Treasury of Jewish Folklore, edited by Nathan Osubel.
Yep.
And I just wanted to put that out there to give you guys time to get it if you wanted to read it. I ordered from Thrift Books, which I've said before. If you don't want to order through Amazon, is a great place. It arrived in less than a week, so it's not like I had to wait forever. When we start the book club next weekend with this book, I'm going to give an introduction to the book so that you will actually have 2 weeks to order this book if you're wanting to read along with us.
And just out of curiosity, did you have a chance to look into it? Like, are we going to be doing like an entire story for each one, or what's it look like to you?
From what I could tell, they're really short stories. There's a ton of stories in here. So what I was thinking is that I might cover like 5 stories at a time, or they're also broken up into sections, so that won't be hard and fast.
Okay.
I think I'll take it the way I was doing with Asimov, where sometimes I would take a section and it was large enough that I would break it down into 2 or even 3 different days.
Sure.
Or, if it's a short section, I might just cover all of it.
Okay.
So, I read the first one and it's really cute and I liked it. And they seem to have a lot of morals or a point to the story that is just really cool.
And are they wrapped in biblical things that are going on, or you didn't really notice so much?
I only read one, so I'm not going to say that represents the entirety of the book.
Got it.
And like I said, I will give a better introduction to the book itself.
Sure.
Next time. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we're getting into here, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
No, we definitely wanted to go down rabbit holes.
Right.
Here's some rabbit holes.
Exactly. And my intention is I'm not going to read the book or read the stories because copyright and all that. What I will do is I'm going to read, like I said, about 5 stories, and I will tell you guys the stories.
Right.
I'll tell you basically this is what happened.
Sure.
And, this is, I think, what you're supposed to do. And we'll just, discuss it from there.
Okay.
Okay? But, again, the book is A Treasury of Jewish Folklore, edited by Nathan Ausubel, Ausubel.
All right.
And next week, we will do an intro to the book.
Sounds great.
All right?
Yeah. All right. So that was the end of our Sacrilegious Book Club for today.
Yes.
And tomorrow, I'll have my our weekly replay here going on today, and then tomorrow we'll be back with.
It will be 1 Chronicles chapter 16.
There you go. All right, we'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end.
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Looking to get into the Halloween spirit? Acast recommends the most chilling podcasts. Tune in and beware.
It's been nearly 5 years since Dr. Ruja disappeared.
One family.
She'd promised to make the world rich with her revolutionary cryptocurrency, OneCoin.
You're amazing, guys.
But OneCoin was a lie. Join me, Jamie Bartlett, as we scour the globe looking for Ruja's missing millions.
I think you need to start looking at the very, very, very top of that country.
The missing crypto queen is back.
Acast helps creators launch, grow, and monetize their podcasts everywhere. Acast.com.